Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back.
At the time of this recording, we are just wrapping up our trip to Sedona. This is Amanda's first trip, first time on an airplane, first of a lot of firsts since her diagnosis in May of 2004. And Amanda, what did you think of Sedona?
Oh my gosh. We have 1 hour left. And I don't want to leave. I'm trying to really figure out how do I bring the cats here. I'm just really trying to in this next hour trying to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, it's a pretty special place. I'll splice in over the course of this video some highlights of our trip, including the view that we're looking at right now, which it's going to be really
Yeah.
hard to say goodbye to this. We weren't sure this was going to happen because you're a little nervous about getting on a plane.
Yes.
And talk to us about just the worries about getting on the plane. And then once you got here, what have been some of your highlights?
Yeah. So the worry, I'm okay with flying. It's not like my favorite thing in the world, but I'm fine. The one thing I couldn't really pin it down why I was so reluctant or hesitant to get on a plane. And I really narrowed it down that I was nervous that I would have a seizure on the plane. Once I talked through with my therapist about it, I felt a little bit better getting on the plane. There are some like medications that you can take to help prevent seizures on a plane. And, I reached out to my team and just kind of asked questions about that and like what that might look like. But actually, when I got on the plane, I fell asleep like almost
Good.
right away. And we got to Phoenix and then made our way to Sedona. And it was kind of funny because it was really late at night, so I had no idea what it looked like. And then when I woke up in this morning, I was like, "Holy crap, this place is incredible." I mean, you can look anywhere and it's just stunning and breathtaking. And um I think that first morning it was like a real big exhale happened. And I remember there's a few goals that I had on this trip. One was to enjoy a cup of coffee, taking in the view every morning, which I definitely did. And this is one heck of a view to look at. The other one was no TV the entire trip. Um, I wanted to get at least 5 miles of movement, whether that's walking or hiking or just movement in general, which I did that. And it was pretty hot when we were here. For me, I I made it like a conscious decision to hike in the morning, hike later in the afternoon, or like in early evening, just because one, I'm not used to the heat. I didn't know how I would do with it. Also, we're in elevation. We live at sea level, so I didn't know how elevation was going to do. Took me about a day and a half to like kind of get acclimated, but oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did. So glad I did, for sure.
Yeah, it's been really special to experience it with you and to watch you fall in love with Sedona.
Yeah.
What have been a couple of the highlights for you while you've been here?
I mean, the hiking is incredible. You can have any version of a hike, short hike, gnarly hike. It's all here for you. And so the hiking, why it's really interesting because I would have thought if it would all look the same, but every trail it wasn't like this rinse and repeat. Every trail was so different. So that was incredible. I met a woman named Cheryl who did a sound bath. And that it was it was really remarkable. You had a pretty nice.
Yeah, it was really quite spectacular,
Yeah.
very profound. And I think both of us had our own just really big downloads from it.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually had a physical shift with your hand, where it was the first time you were able to get it flat since
Yeah.
pre-surgery, right? I was able to have this visualization of seeing a kind of a path that had carved out in front of me of what life looks like when I'm not full-time caregiver, because I've been having a, call it some sort of existential crisis of, well, I stopped pretty much everything professionally to be just full-time with you, but now Loving Healing is doing so well that I think I can start exploring some of those things. But then it's, who am I even? So that was really awesome. We also went and met some wolves.
Oh my goodness. We went to a the Sedona Wolf Sanctuary. What a great organization. A lot of it is educational. You are with the wolves the whole time, but I think their main intent for it is just understanding, like,
It's conservation.
yeah,
It's very much conservation, but also about human, call it responsibility, irresponsibility,
yes,
and trying to breed hybrid breeds of wolf dogs, and then how they're not able to handle the dog afterwards. We learned a really sad
yes,
statistic. It's something like every year there's 150,000 wolf dog hybrids born because of humans breeding them. And of those, only about 10% survive because the other 90% people realize that the dog is too much for them to handle, and they either,
euthanize them.
yeah, or do something horrible.
Yeah, so that would, oh my gosh, every time, I can't wait to come back to Sedona, but I will make that trip to the Wolf Sanctuary. It's not far from Sedona, the town, but I will 100% make that trip every time because it was just so special. I got a kiss
Yeah,
from
kiss
Luna.
from Luna.
So yesterday I had a 2-hour session. I went to a place called Shine. Highly recommend anything at Shine. And it was a really cool, transformative, and call it, I don't even know how to begin to explain what it was, but it was a 2-hour Reiki, inner child work, just talking about, you know, my glioblastoma diagnosis and how I feel about it. And the woman was just unbelievable. It was such a great experience.
And we've talked about too, one of our goals I think would be really meaningful is to bring a group here
Yes.
at some point in
Oh,
the near
yes.
future. And this has really been a relaxing, disconnecting from the world, reconnecting with self, reconnecting with nature experience for us. And we would want to help curate that for others and give other people the opportunity to experience some of the neat things we did. So if that's something of interest of you, make sure you can message us or put in the comments. But you had something else you wanted to say. It looked like an idea just came to mind.
Oh, I was gonna say it was really also exciting is I got to see some of your family members for
That's
the
right.
first time, and obviously lovely, wonderful people. But it was really nice because um, it seems like a lot of time it's my family that we hang out with, and so it was really nice to see yours and obviously very lovely people.
Yeah, that was really special. I don't get to see them that often, and it was really awesome they made the trip.
Yeah.
I got to spend some time with them.
Yes. Let me see. Well, we already talked about this, but the Oak Creek crossing situation.
Yeah, we'll put another clip on there just to maybe familiarize people with that.
Yeah, that was that it's really incredible. Like I did something like 29 out of 29, which is equivalent to Mount Everest, and in the rain, all the things, and then like there's a little bit of a creek crossing. I'm like, well, this is where I dropped the line. This is where I draw the line. But in a very, obviously we had talked about a very loving, understanding way that creek crossing is just not going to be my thing now. or in the near future.
Or you can just cross it by walking through with your waterproof shoes like everybody else was instead of trying to tiptoe over the rocks. That's another option. We will wrap it up there. What we'll do is I'll add on a few other photos and videos of Sedona's beauty after this. So if you want to hang out for the next couple minutes, I'll put some extras on there. Otherwise, we will bid you adieu for this video. As always, we love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on the journey with us. And Amanda's next MRI, which will basically be her 1 year MRI. We'll do a video on her 1 year coming up here. Will be on May 20th.
Which is a week from right now.
Which is a week from this recording. So send a little extra love her way. And we will see you all later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Make sure you get my hat.
What's that?
Yeah. Well, thank you.
He's got a very coarse fur. Yeah.